What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. And over the last several days, we've completed a long trek through the running backs of the 2024 draft. And it's one of those things that I feel like I need to do because I got to do my homework before the draft gets here, right? If I'm going to sit here and stream for over a dozen hours over 3 days talking about draft stuff, not just Seahawks stuff, but like everything, mostly Seahawks stuff, but talking about everything, I want to put in the legwork before we get there. So it's something that needs to be done. But sometimes it's tough, especially when you're looking at running backs, knowing that the best cuts of meat are probably not even going to be available to you, and also knowing that once you get down to the day 3 range, which most of our work was in, everything is just going to start blending together. It's like every now and then a guy will pop up that stands out to you, like a Blake Watson type or Isaac Guerendo type. But for the most part, you're just like, there's another running back. He cuts hard. He can catch, but it's hard, man. So now that we got through all that, and we even tied it up with the stream last night with the Hawks Nest where we talked about running backs, I want to do another mock. And I know I did a mock not that long ago, but it's April. I should probably be doing a mock every couple days anyway, honestly. Like, I should be doing mock drafts pretty consistently throughout this month. We're here. So, nothing too wrong with it. So let's go ahead and take a look at mock draft 7.0. And this one, just to mix it up, no trades. I've been doing a lot of trades lately with my mocks. This one, no trades. That helps remove some of the ambiguity and some of the debate, and it makes things a little simpler for me to hash out. So, let's go through our picks. Still have 7 of them. Let's talk about what we can do here and process the potential outcomes. So, with the first pick, I am going with a guy that I have not picked in a previous mock yet, Taliese Fuaga. Taliese Fuaga, Oregon State. Most people who follow my videos probably know who this guy is because he's very high profile in this upcoming draft. The question here, can Fuaga play left guard? He's 6'6", which is pushing it, but it's possible. I mean, anything's possible. DJ Fluker is like 6'8", 6'9", and he can play guard. But it gets harder the taller you get. If Fuaga can play left guard, then this pick works very, very well. But if he can only play right tackle, then it doesn't really work. So it depends. However, look at it this way. If Fuaga can't play left guard, then you just take a look at the triumvirate of elite right tackles at the top of this draft. Because realistically, guys, Fatanu's going to be gone when we pick. Like, I'm just trying to be realistic here now. He's going to be gone when we pick. He's too good. Too much value. So, Fuaga, Latham, and Amarius Mims. Whichever one of those 3 guys you think will make the best left guard in the NFL, you take. All 3 of those guys have a good chance of being there. Maybe not Fuaga, but Latham and Mims almost certainly will be. And if you feel like one of those guys can move to left guard and play well, you're good. You can do that. So if you don't think Fuaga can play left guard, then just pick up one of the other 2 guys, and it's fine. So those 2 guys, Mims and Latham, are a little bit taller, I think, than Fuaga, so I think Fuaga is the best bet. And then down the line, if Lucas continues to have the problems that he's having, you can bump Fuaga over to right tackle, and you know he's going to be a great right tackle because he was so dominant at Oregon State. So that would be my first pick, and then I'm moving on. Our next pick, all the way down in round 3, pick 81 overall. I'm going with Kalen Bullock, safety out of USC. I'm not 100% convinced that he'll be able to do all the stuff that Mike McDonald needs in his defense from a safety. But at the same time, I think that he can do most of it, and he might be able to do the rest. So he's got a better chance than a lot of these safeties. A lot of these safeties, they got no chance. A guy like a James Williams from Miami, there's no way he's going to be able to play safety in Mike McDonald's defense. Maybe he could play linebacker, not safety. But Bullock, great ball hawk, great ball skills. We talked about him plenty a couple of weeks ago when I made my safety videos. He's got a chance. He could really do it. So Kalen Bullock is my next pick, and he becomes a starter probably in year 2 after a year on the bench. So it works out very nicely, and I'm feeling good about that one too. Okay, so now we swing on down to round 4. You can see we've already gotten down to day 3, so things kind of spin out of control quickly here for our draft, but that's the position we're in. We got to work through it. And this time I'm going with a linebacker, Cedric Gray. I would love for one of the top 4 linebackers in this draft to slip here, but I don't think they will. So Cedric Gray is probably the best we can do. 4th round value on this guy. I know he's not the best tester. I know there are some questions about how his game is going to transition to the NFL, but for me, Cedric Gray is the best we can do with this pick. So he immediately becomes your imminent backup to Baker and Dodson. So he's going to have a role to play. And then by year 2, he probably takes over as the starter because I don't think we keep both of those guys. Unless you can get like a blue chip linebacker next year. And even then, maybe not. Okay, we have another 4th round pick, and I'm going with more interior line depth. We're going with Zach Zinter at Michigan. You can show Tremaine Ankrum the door at that point. Zinter becomes your backup behind Bradford, and maybe he pushes Bradford. And Zinter, the only reason why he might be down here in the 4th round is because of the injury. If he had stayed healthy, he'd be borderline 2nd round pick. And as it stands, he might still be a 3rd round pick, but there's a chance he slips to the 4th. That's about where he is on the aggregate. So if you could get Zach Zinter in round 4, I think that's phenomenal value, given the fact that the injury he had, while it's significant, doesn't seem to be something that threatens his career. So I would say Zach Zinter in the 4th there would be a great pick. Then I'm going down to the 6th round. We don't have another pick until the 6th. I'm taking Gabe Hall, potential pick. Gabe Hall has some very intriguing skill sets, some very intriguing potential. But as I said in my scouting report, it just hasn't really manifested. And he's a very unusual player. He's very tall. He's very oddly shaped. There's some interesting questions about what he'll be able to do at the NFL level. But theoretically, he should be a good fit for a 3-4 defense at defensive end, which definitely appeals to me. And I feel like Gabe Hall is a worthy swing to take in the 6th round. We're not talking about taking him in round 4. But once you get down to the 6th round, why not take a swing on a guy who clearly has some unique potential when you look at how different he is from all the other defensive line prospects? All right. Then I'm going with a recent Pro Day darling, Blake Watson. As of right now, he's projected to go undrafted. That's not going to hold after what he did at his Pro Day. So I have us taking him in the 6th round to be our 4th running back. Maybe push McIntosh and maybe provide some special teams value as well. Freak athlete, really fun, really unique. We talked about him at length last night on the show. There's a lot of stuff with Blake Watson. The speed, the agility, the athleticism, the cuts. It's all there. So much stuff is there with Blake Watson. He's special. And if we get him as running back depth, I think we've done a phenomenal job. All right. One last pick. We're going with the hometown. We needed a Washington guy. You know we need to keep a guy here in Washington. I'm going with ZTF. Zion Tupola-Fatui as an edge depth. You know we're going to have to dump Darrell Taylor, so we're going to need a 4th edge anyway. Why not keep somebody who's familiar with the area? And a guy who at one point was getting hyped and then it just fizzled out. So maybe he'll be a late bloomer. Who knows? But 7th round pick on ZTF to bolster your edge room. Can't go too wrong with it. So that would be my mock draft 7.0. No trades. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know how this one is reaching you. All right, so we're going to get back to wide receiver stuff a little later today. You guys know the drill. Wide receivers are going to be the position for probably the next 3 days. We've got a lot to grind through there. 3 days may not even be enough. We're going to have to find out the hard way. But keep an eye out. We're going to talk about receivers. Videos coming soon.